Shea again, sizing up Murphy. Drives, floats, hangs, and scores on the turnaround. J-Dub way behind the three-point line and hits way behind the three-point line. Got blocked. What a rejection by Holmgren. Standing tall like a wall.
This is New York. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested podcast. Coming to you live on Wednesday, March 26th. I am your host for tonight's solo pod. Not by choice, folks. Sorry. I'm your host for the night, Jacob Niffen. We are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and our homies over at Prairie Artisan Ales. Make sure to go hit up Prairie Artisan Ales. Get yourself some playoff beers as we are getting closer and closer to the playoffs. 10 games left, folks. We are almost there. For tonight's show, before we dive into that, I also want to mention we are on Patreon. If you haven't joined the Patreon already, I would encourage you to do so. You can find the QR code in the top left corner of your screen if you're watching on YouTube. If not, you can also find the link in the description of the pod. We'd love to have you join. The Discord is an awesome place to talk hoops, especially with the playoffs approaching. I know the Around the Association channel tonight has been going off with the Lakers-Pacers game, so that's really fun. So I would encourage you to jump in, join the Patreon. It's the literal best time of the year to do it as we are approaching the end of the season, playoff basketball, draft lottery, draft. It's going to be a really fun time. So bit of a shorter show for you tonight. A shorter show. Sounds weird when you say it fast like that. Bit of a shorter show for you tonight as I'm going solo. We're going to talk a little bit about the Thunder Kings game from last night. We're going to preview not some of the upcoming games, the last 10 games of the season. We're going to take some of your questions and maybe look at the play-in race to kind of get an idea of who the Thunder might be seeing in the first round. I will get through as much as I can until I get tired of hearing my own voice, and then I will turn the podcast off. You're welcome. Thunder defeat the Sacramento Kings last night, 121-105. Thunder, once again, down 3 of their top 7 players, I would say, in Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, and J-Dub. I think that's fair to say that they're 3 of the top 7. Dub is definitely the second best player on the team. I would say Cason is 6 and Wiggins is 7. I think that's fair. That's close outside of that top 5. You can maybe put AC in that top 7. He's been really good recently. So 3 of the top 7, 3 of the top 8 players were out. Meanwhile, I do believe the Kings played all of their main guys. They don't play many guys off the bench very much minutes. Jake LaRavia got 21 minutes off the bench for the Kings. Markelle Fultz got 11. All their starters played 37 plus. They're kind of riding that starting 5 for sure. But Thunder come out on top 121-105. And what was a really interesting game, the first half was incredible. The Thunder hold the Kings to only 42 points. The Thunder, meanwhile, scored 64. So the Kings scored 2/3 of the Thunder's points in the first half. The defense was just outstanding. Then the third quarter comes around, and the Kings put up 39 points and felt like they hit roughly, by my count, 153s in the third quarter, and were just cooking. At one point, I believe the Kings were on a 16-0 run. The Thunder kind of just fell apart defensively, especially in transition. Keegan Murray got incredibly hot, and the Kings just hit a ton of shots. Then the fourth quarter came. I think the lead got down to like as little as 6. Fourth quarter came. Doug McDermott did he hit 2 threes there at the end, or was it 3? I'm trying to find his stat line real quick. That son of a gun hit 3 threes in 4 minutes. If he doesn't come in and hit those threes, the Kings end up with under 20 points in the fourth frame. Instead, they score 24 to the Thunder's 32. Thunder end up winning by 16. Would have been closer to 25 were it not for the Doug McDermott flurry there at the end. And to me, guys, I think this is the story of the game. Is that the Kings went on a 16-0 run in the third quarter. And after that 16-0 run, they're still down 8 points. The Kings score 40 points in the third quarter, get 105 for the game. Like, I think a lot of Thunder fans last night who I saw like online and on social media were really getting upset and like thinking the team was playing bad. And I kind of got that vibe too. I was like, this is just not a good game for them. As you watch that third quarter, and it was a blowout. It was still a blowout, even though they had that insane third quarter, scored 40 points, hit everything, and the Thunder were down their three of their top 7 players. Still won by 16. Still never really had the game in doubt. Just really, really impressive stuff by the Thunder. And that's kind of been the past 2 weeks. You're down 3 of your top 7, and you still win. Some nights it's no Dub and Chet. Some nights it's no Chet and Lou. Some nights it's no Wiggins and Kason. Sometimes it's no AC and no Hartenstein. Doesn't matter. They're just coming out and they're blitzing teams. And when you think of this, is it a 9-game win streak now, I believe? When you think of this run, they beat Denver. They beat the Boston Celtics. They beat the Celtics on the road. They beat the Bucks. They're running off these wins that, especially being down guys, they shouldn't be winning all those games. And so it's just kind of crazy. I did want to talk a little bit about some of the stat lines from the night. Shea had an insane first half, doing some crazy stuff. I thought in the second half, a lot of contact going to the rim that he didn't get whistles on. Still ended up with 10 free throw attempts. But Shea finishes the game 32 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers as well. But another just awesomely efficient game from Shea that you love to see. Chet Holmgren, 50% from the field, 50% from 3, 75% from the free throw line. 18 points, 10 rebounds for Chet, 2 assists, 2 steals. I thought Chet was awesome. Again, you just continue to see the connection with the two bigs, with the double big lineup with he and Hartenstein. Hartenstein only 4 points, but had 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I thought Lou played really well, 3 of 6 from 3, 4 rebounds, just great defense. This Kings matchup is a good matchup for the Thunder just because of all the perimeter defenders that the Thunder have. And then off the bench, like Jay Will has been freaking awesome. Shout out to Jay Will. But the two guys off the bench tonight, AC and Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe goes 4 of 6 from 3, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals from Isaiah Joe for 14 points. Alex Caruso, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks. Those two guys alone off the bench combined for 29 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and 5 stocks. That is incredible. Another 23-minute night for Alex Caruso. Look, I'm not breaking news to anybody. I love Alex Caruso. It's my brother from another mother. He's my twin. You can't really have a twin when it's from another mother. But he's my twin. I love AC. And those minutes keep getting ramped up and ramped up and ramped up. And they're getting him ready for the playoffs, man. I think he is such a key to this team. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him close playoff games for this team. He's been awesome. He's been incredible. Lots of ups and downs in the season for him with the injuries, with the play. But the dude just plays winning basketball. Like at the end of the day, he's not going to force stuff. He's not going to do too much. He's not going to lose. Alex Caruso never loses you a playoff game, but holy smokes, will he win you some playoff games. And that's exactly what I expect from him going into the postseason. He's just been incredible. Connor B says he's my shiny sibling. Yeah, you could say that. I wish I could hoop like AC. He was awesome in this Kings game, though. Just great performances from the Thunder all across the board. I thought they played really, really well. Every player was a plus in the plus minus who did not play garbage time. Flagler was a -9. It's because of those 3 McDermott threes. Brendan Carlson was a -9. 3 McDermott threes. Dylan Jones, a -3 and 5 points. Zeros across the board the rest of the way for Dylan Jones. But I think you're just really starting to see, as we get to the end of the season here, 10 games left, I believe you are starting to see all those funky lineups, all of those weird minutes for different guys, all of those trying different things out. I think you're starting to see that come to fruition because you look at the depth of this team and it's just incredible. When fully healthy, the lineup will be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. And then you get to the bench, which would be Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe. Jay Will has been playing awesome. And Kenrich has been playing good. That's 11 deep. And I don't know who you start to trim like full games from the playoffs. Like does Kenrich just not see minutes in the playoffs? Does Jay Will not see minutes in the playoffs? Do you just play 11 guys in the playoffs? Like, I don't know. I just realized my light's off. Sorry about that. Hope that looks better. Low quality YouTube going on here. My apologies. What do you do in the playoffs? You just play 11 guys? Like, I'm not against it, and I don't think Mark is against it, but that would be crazy because most teams are going to play like 8 guys in the playoffs. The Thunder could legit go 11 deep. And it's not only the depth, but it's the quality of what they're getting. Like, I think all of Thunder fans were really worried when AJ Mitchell went down on who's going to run that second unit. And we thought, well, now you really have to stagger SGA and J-Dub to have one primary ball handler on the floor at all time. Look at what Cason Wallace has developed into. They're using Alex Caruso a lot to initiate the offense. They really like getting Isaiah Hartenstein out there with that bench to be like an offensive hub from either the top of the key with that dribble handoff or from the mid post. They have spent all of this season refining the skills that they need from these guys to be successful in the playoffs. And those are now starting to come to fruition. I was thinking about this a lot during that Kings game last night. The past 2 games for the Thunder, against the Clippers and against the Kings, are 2 teams that are desperate to win basketball games. The Kings are fighting for their play-in life. The Clippers are fighting to get out of the play-in and get that 6th spot in the playoffs. Those are teams that really want to win basketball games and are playing hard. Meanwhile, like, why the Thunder don't benefit from winning any more games. They've already locked up the 1 seed. They don't benefit from winning anymore. They are playing without frequently 2 or 3 of their best players, and they're still winning. They are, in my mind, when I watch this team, they are playing the best basketball of the season right now. And that's exactly when you want them to play their best basketball of the season, is right as we're entering the playoffs. And it feels like they're doing that. And I think that's a great, great sign. With 10 games left, I think you'll continue to see them stagger lineups. Some guys will sit, some guys will play. They're not chasing 70 wins. Will they get there? There's a chance. There's a chance they will get to 70-12, which is freaking insane. I feel like the ancient alien guy right now with the hand motion. 70 wins would be crazy. I think they're getting to 67 at least, guys. Like, I honestly do, which is so wild. So hopefully they get there, but a great win in Sacramento. Now they come home for a bit of an extended homestand. Let me get this schedule pulled up real quick. This is the challenge of solo potting, is you have to do everything on your own. Bit of a homestand coming up with the Memphis Grizzlies Thursday night, the Pacers on Saturday, the return of Josh Giddey on Monday, and then the Detroit Pistons on Wednesday. They go on the road for one against the Rockets. They come home for 2 games against the Los Angeles Lucas. They have a Sega Baba out in Phoenix, and then they'll close the season with the Utah Jazz and with the New Orleans Pelicans. I would imagine at some point everybody sits maybe for those last 2 games, maybe for that entire road trip. There's no reason for any Thunder player like starter to play in Phoenix on the second game of a back-to-back with 3 games left in the season. There is no reason for Shea to play that game. Dub, Chet, Hart. Like, that should be the Adam Flagler show. That Wednesday, 9 p.m. night in Phoenix, Arizona. That should absolutely be the Adam Flagler show. But only 10 games left now. So before I move on to talking about those 10, though, I do realize that I need to do a King of the Prairie for the Kings game. How do you not go with Shea, who had 32, 8, and 5? Great night from Shea. And then I think your Prince of the Prairie behind that, man, I want to go Alex Caruso, but I think I'm taking Chet. Chet's 18, 10, 2, and 2. Just another awesome night for Chet Holmgren. Really starting to round into form as we move towards the postseason and just continuing to find that connection with his teammates. So love to see that from Chet. So King of the Prairie is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Your Prince of the Prairie is Chet Holmgren. There is no Joker of the Prairie. We should probably start doing that at some point, but I don't have a Joker of the Prairie for the night. I guess Domantas Sabonis, because he looked like Isaiah Hartenstein's child out there last night. Isaiah was incredible defensively on Sabonis, I thought. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, I kind of just looked at the next 10 games. We can talk about that just a little bit. And then I've got a lot of listener questions, both in the chat here and through Discord and maybe on Twitter. I haven't checked Twitter. I asked for Twitter questions and I haven't looked. There's a couple. So I'll answer some questions and then we will get out of here. We will be right back. All right, so we are back. Let's look back at those 10 remaining games on the schedule. It is home versus Memphis, home versus Indiana, home versus the Bulls, home versus the Pistons, road against the Rockets, home against the Lakers, home against the Lakers. And then they close out the season at Phoenix, at Utah, at New Orleans. My guess is that those final 3 games of the season on the road, you just bench everybody. You keep everybody seated. That would mean that the starters play their last game on Tuesday, April 8th. And then their first playoff game would be Sunday, April 20th. So that would be a week and a half off. That'd be about 12 days. It's kind of a long time. Maybe they play. I don't think they're going to play that Suns game. Maybe they play that Friday in Utah just to keep the legs fresh. I don't know. But there's no reason to risk injury. I'd play them that Lakers home game on the 8th, and then I probably wouldn't play any of the top 7 guys again until the 20th, until that first playoff game, game 1 of round 1 inside Paycom Center in Oklahoma City. I would wait until then to play those guys again. I honestly think that's what I'd do. Besides that, though, leading up to that, you still have, it's 10 games. I think you play them 7 of those and you just continue to build that continuity. Guys have been injured so much this season that you want to continue to build that connection between them. And I think you do that for the next 7 games. Do I know what they're going to do? Heck no, I have no clue. If I had a choice, I think that's probably the direction that I would go. Is just keep the continuity, keep the freshness, and then set them for the last 3. So, all right. With that being said, let's jump into some questions. I'm going to start on the live stream here. Dustin just dropped this one. I think it's Dustin. Dustbun333 says, "What are the teams we might face in the first round?" Great question, Justin. Let's pull up the standings and let's kind of talk through what that might look like, because we got some interesting races in the West. Teams that will not be making any sort of postseason appearance are the Utah Jazz, New Orleans Pelicans, San Antonio Spurs, and the Portland Trail Blazers. After that, we're looking at the play-in. 7 plays 8, 9 plays 10. 9, 10, and 11 cannot get up to that 8 spot and be in that better play-in game. Sacramento is 5.5 games back of Minnesota at 8. Phoenix is also 5.5 back, and Dallas is 6 back. So no new contenders are jumping into that 7-8 range. So we're looking at 3 teams in that 9-10 slot. That's Sacramento, Phoenix, and Dallas. They are separated by half a game. That's going to be a dogfight coming down the stretch here. Then in that 7-8 play-in matchup, we are looking realistically at 3 teams: Minnesota, Golden State, and the LA Clippers. Those 3 are fighting to get the 6th seed and the guaranteed playoff spot. The other 2 will be in the play-in. Like I said, they're separated by half a game. Clippers are 19 back of the Thunder. Golden State's 19 back of the Thunder. Wolves are 19.5 back. And then you have what I would say like the 3, 4, 5 tier. Those teams are separated by half a game. That's Memphis, the Lakers, and Denver. Houston's up 2 games on the 3 seed. And then Oklahoma City is literally on a different continent. So, Dustin, when I look at this, the Thunder first round matchup will be one of 5 teams, which is really inconvenient to try to prep for. It will be either the Dallas Mavericks, the Phoenix Suns, the Sacramento Kings, the Minnesota Timberwolves, or the Golden State Warriors. If we were ranking those teams for the record, I think they will beat any of those teams. I think at worst in 5 games. But if I had to rank how I wanted to see these teams, an easiest matchup to most difficult of those 5. Easiest, Dallas. After that, Sacramento. Right in the middle would be the Phoenix Suns. After that, I would go the Golden State Warriors. And then after that, I would go the Minnesota Timberwolves. Golden State and Minnesota are pretty close there at the top, kind of flip-flopping. But I think that would be my order. They would embarrass the city of Dallas. Dallas has already had so many. The Luka trade and then the AI music video. The last thing they need is to meet the Thunder in the first round. Lord, don't do it to them. Give those Dallas basketball fans a break. They don't want that. But that's the order I would go in, Dustin. Let's see. Let's get some other questions from the chat here. Smoot asks if I think the Heat pick conveys in this upcoming draft. If the Heat miss the playoffs, then they keep the pick. If they make the playoffs, it goes to the Thunder. Looking at the standings, the Miami Heat are the 10th seed. They would have to win 2 games to get into the playoffs. I'm going to say they miss it. I'm going to say they miss the playoffs. They keep their pick, and that pick rolls over to next season, and it will be a Thunder unprotected pick. That would be my guess. More chat questions. Donnie Hazelwood says, does Jay Will get regular playoff rotation minutes? Donnie, if you take out the word regular, I would say yes. He will get playoff rotation minutes. I don't think it'll be, maybe it's 8 minutes a game. And I think as we move on into like the second round and the Western Conference Finals, I think you start to see his minutes kind of get soaked up a little bit. Let me dig through here and see if we can find some others. Lots of comments. I really appreciate that. Connor says, I'm doing a great job on the solo pod. Thank you, Connor. Jacob Niffin's hair, which is Ratatouille tonight, says, when is AJ coming back? I think he's close. But here's the thing. Maybe those last 3 games of the season are a great time to get him some run. I don't think he's getting playoff minutes. If AJ gets playoff minutes, I think that means something bad has happened. And that's nothing against AJ. If AJ would have played all season, I think he would have earned playoff minutes. But you can't try to reintegrate a second-round rookie with less than 10 games left and then play him playoff minutes. That's just not going to happen. Some more questions here. Let's see. I know the homie Alex Bowlerjack. He's in here. Okay. Alex asks, what's the best pasta? Alex, that's a great question. I ate it yesterday. Fettuccine with some Alfredo and some grilled chicken. Throw a little bit of bacon bits in that bad boy. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Alex also asks, what's the Western Conference defensive matchup you think requires the most creative response from Mark? So I want to make sure I understand this question correctly. The Western Conference defensive matchup, so is that the Thunder defense matching up against another team that causes the most creative response from Mark? Great question. I would probably say, the Los Angeles Lakers are an interesting one. And so are the Golden State Warriors. I would say one of those two. Los Angeles, because they don't really have a big man. Chet can match up against Jackson Hayes, a.k.a. Sideshow Bob. And do you want to run two bigs in that lineup? I don't know. And it's the same kind of thing with the Golden State Warriors, especially if they go Draymond at the 5. I think the best matchup against Draymond at the 5 is probably J-Dub at the 5. So can you play Isaiah Hartenstein in that lineup? Do you go with Chet in that lineup? Do you go with Chet in that lineup and he doesn't guard Draymond? I think that's probably where the interesting ones there come in. So that's what I would say. Let's see. What else? Connor says, I have a question. How dare you? I don't know. I don't know how I dare, Connor. Don't have an answer for you. I'm going to jump over to, let me remove that comment. I'm going to jump over to the Discord. They have sent in a lot of questions, so I really appreciate that from them as well. Let's see if I can answer a few of those. What are the chances, this is from Wolverine38 on Discord, what are the chances we get multiple people in the all-defensive team and which players? I think they'll get two, and it'll be Lou Dort, and it will be Jalen Williams. Chet hasn't played enough to make it. I don't think Caruso has played enough to make it, and I just don't think Kayson's going to make it his second year. Gosh, you can make an argument for Hartenstein, though. I don't know if he's played enough games, but Hartenstein has an argument for sure. But I think it'll be two. I think it'll be Lou, and I think it'll be J-Dub. Dustin asks, would you stagger rest days for players or just plain full team rest days? Kind of answered that one. I think I'd arrest them all those last 3 games. Thunder Chick says, where do you go from here in the post-game interviews? Do they start undressing Nick Gallo? FanDuel After Dark. The FanDuel only fans. No, you do not undress Nick Gallo. I said it on the pod a while back. I will say it again. I think they need to get Nick Gallo his own chain and put it on him at the last game of the season. That would be awesome. OJ Himpson, just a goated name. What is going to be more important in the playoffs? J-Dub and Chet reaching their potential or Shea being a consistent offensive spark? I think it's J-Dub and Chet. Because even if Shea isn't at his peak level of powers, teams are going to blitz him in the playoffs and get the ball out of his hands. If J-Dub and Chet can go off, they're in trouble. Like, they're, as in other teams, are just going to get blasted. Dustin asks, who would be the Thunder player you would prefer to take a charge from, and who would you least like to take a charge from? OKC and league-wide. Dustin, I'm going to go OKC here. The one I would least want to take a charge from is Isaiah Hartenstein, because he's the biggest. The one I want to take a charge from is Isaiah Joe because he's the smallest. Dustin also asks, if OKC wins a title, will we see Mark chugging a beer? If Mark chugs a beer or shotguns a beer on the parade, I don't care if we get a cease and desist, we're making a t-shirt. Let's see what else we got in here. Smoot asks, what's your biggest Thunder-related question heading into the playoffs? Smoot, that's a hard question for me, and it scares me because I'm so confident. I don't see how somebody beats this team 4 times in 7 games. So Thunder-related question, can they stay healthy and have they built enough chemistry going through all the injuries this year? Maybe that's my biggest question. DJ Frederick Douglas says, what are the odds the Thunder win out? Do you think this is the year? Odds they win out, I'm going to go pretty low. I have them these last 10 going 7-3, finishing 67-15, which is an insane season. Do I think this is the year? I think you're asked not about winning out. I think you're asking about an NBA title. It's 9:42 p.m. on March 26th, the year of our Lord 2025. Yes. I think they're going to win an NBA title. I think they're going to win an NBA title. If you gave me Thunder or the Field, I'd probably go the Field because that's 15 other teams that could win it. But I think they're going to win an NBA title this season. I think in late June there's a parade in Oklahoma City. I struggle to see Cleveland, Boston, Denver, Golden State, the Lakers. I don't see any of those teams beating this team 4 times in 7 games. This team is too good. They're too versatile. They're too deep. They have too many pieces. The coaching staff is too good. I don't think they're going to win 4 games. Trav says he's getting a tattoo if they win it all. Trav, I'm there with you. 100%. I will get a Thunder tattoo. I'm going to get a little thunder cloud with a lightning bolt. I'll get myself a little tattoo. Last question I'm going to hit from the Discord. I Hurt 2.0. Has this season become championship or bust? Do you think anything other than a ring is a disappointment with how historic our net rating and record are? I don't know. If they make the finals, like, you can't say it's a bust, especially when you consider the runway this team has. Shea's going to sign the extension. You're getting Chet and Dub locked up for 5 more years, so that'll be 6 years. You're going to have this team together, the core of this team together for 6 more years. You have Case and Wallace. You have a decision to make on Isaiah Hartenstein, and you have all the draft picks in the world. Like, this team is set up. This team is set up to be like the mid-20 teens Warriors, but for 10 years. It's insane. It's insane. I'm going to hit a few of these Twitter questions real quick. Let's see how many I have here. Jay Teledubby asks, are you going to use the new OKC to Cancun flight? Didn't know there was one. If I get enough money teaching public education, I will take that flight, Jay Teledubby. I'm sure a lot more questions got asked in the live stream tonight. I'm not going to be able to get to those because I'm going to hop off of here. It's 35 minutes of a solo pod. God rest my soul. You guys have a great evening. Enjoy the Thunder versus Memphis Grizzlies Thursday night. Hopefully we get J-Dub back. Somebody's got a post game tomorrow. It ain't me, but somebody's got it. So you guys enjoy that. I will talk to you again Sunday night. Until then, and as always, Thunder up.